about the action of yesterday? And this one, a bit of a shocker. Josh Allen and the Bills taking on Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins. First play of the second quarter. Tagovailoa throws a deep pass to Jaylen Waddle for the 38-yard touchdown. Look at the lefty.
Yeah, just a great route concept. Waddle double moved and just finished it.
Dolphins leading 16-0. I'm looking at the score. What is going on? And that is intercepted. Another turnover by the Bills.
I mean, you had a zero pressure here. Melifonwu was inside on that throw. Josh Allen can't make that mistake.
Okay, so 12 minutes and 43 seconds in the fourth quarter. Surely the Bills are going to mount a comeback, right? They're still trailing 16-0. And right here, Allen airing it out to Keon Coleman for the 35-yard touchdown.
There's times when I ask myself, why don't you do this more? Why don't we just let him get more 50-50 balls? But this, to me, is the turning point of the game. It's 3rd and 1. They get the quarterback sneak. And I don't know if Josh is trying to push it back or there's a punch out right there, but massive takeaway.
6 minutes, 43 seconds left in the game. Dolphins 2nd and 7 at their own 41. Devon Achane was unreal, running up the middle, breaks free for the 59-yard touchdown. Dolphins win 30-13. Here's Josh Allen on some of the struggles after this game.
They came ready to play. They wanted it obviously a little more than us. I got to be better. I'd be better in the protection game, in the pass game, in the run game, all of it. You know, it's anytime you turn it over 3 times, 2 in the red zone, really you could count that last one, you know, driving, kind of going into the red zone. So that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, after a 4-0 start to the season, the Bills have now dropped 3 of their last 5 games. Through those first 4 weeks, Buffalo scored a touchdown on an NFL best 37% of their drives and turned the ball over on an NFL best 2% of drives. Both numbers much worse over their last 5 games. I mean, it feels like that's the big reason why this has gone a certain way. But let's dive a little deeper here. Mina, why was the Bills' offense so ineffective yesterday?
I think we saw something we've seen over the course of the entire season, which is when Buffalo can't run the ball and Miami sold out to stop the run. The drop-back passing game just isn't effective enough on its own, in large part because they don't have skill players who separate and get open. And that's not to completely exonerate Allen of the decision-making, because some of those were clearly on him. But I almost felt like it was born out of frustration. Same way, honestly, when I watched Patrick Mahomes at times last season and nobody was open downfield. Outside of, I would say, Dalton Kincaid, when other teams play man coverage, I do not think there's anyone on this Bills roster, and Palmer's been hurt, we have to acknowledge that, who can consistently get open, and defenses recognize that increasingly.
Yeah, but here's my problem. Why is this year so different than last year offensively? It's mainly the same group outside of no Matt Collins. Obviously,
watching Matt Collins, I was thinking they could use Matt Collins.
No doubt. No, but that's where I'm getting to the sticking point of struggling to figure out exactly why. Because they weren't a great separating team last year. They were great yards after the catch. No question, Josh plays frustrated. He's playing way too fast for me. I'm trying to figure out, like, what's the answer?
Right.
What is going to be the next step? Because I would sit there and go, all right, let's get back to some 6 offensive linemen, maybe more play action. But then I would sit there and go, the play action stuff's not overly
Think about
creative.
the 4th and 1, right? They come out in 22 personnel.
Oh my goodness.
And it's a shot to Jackson Hawes downfield. That to me was like the problem in a nutshell. And I like Hawes. He's a good player, but
that's not his
that
role.
can't be your answer.
Yeah, and I don't know. Even their play action stuff, the play actions are one of 2 things. Like they go out, tight end sits over the ball, or they go 3 levels. So there definitely needs to be a little bit of growth in that downfield passing game concept stuff that allow maybe lesser players to win versus coverage.
As you might imagine, you saw some frustration from Joe Brady even at times in the broadcast. Marcus, it wasn't just the offense, though. The defense gives up nearly 200 yards. What was going on that side of the ball?
Yeah, the explosive plays come to mind. Obviously, Waddle, but on the ground with Devon Achane. And everybody's going to focus on the explosive runs, but this was almost a 4 to 5 yard a carry game for the Miami Dolphins. And when you listen, I don't care how much you're struggling, this game still reverts back to this. If we can have success on the ground offensively, we can have success on the day. And that's what you saw with Tua Tagovailoa. You cannot blitz and pressure him and take away his first read when you have to commit so many people to the box in order to try to stop the run. And that's what Miami was able to do. And you got to give them credit. You got to give the Miami Dolphins credit for how they came into this game. Tua was still aggressive. They acknowledged that up front they wanted to kind of deem physicality as the model of this football game, also while getting their speed on edges. I love the plan that they had, and we could talk about the Bills and all of the mistakes that they made. The Miami Dolphins whooped the Bills' ass yesterday. That's really what it boils down to. So everybody got to go back to the drawing board, figure out what they did wrong and get right. But that was a really good win by Miami, and if they can stay in that vein, people going to have problems with them, man.
Yeah, for me, it's about Devon Achane, right? 22 carries, 174 yards, and the Bills just didn't fit the run. They were moved by movement pre-snap, also by pulls and shifts after the ball was snapped, and then also they didn't tackle with one-on-one opportunities. Here you're going to see the motion by Washington, and watch how they make the backers plus, and once the backers plus, now it's Matt Milano in the hole, and he misses the tackle. Here you're going to see just a short motion and a seal and a pull from the backside tight end, and now you're one-on-one in the hole with Cam Lewis. You have to make this play. They were finding ways to either put you on one-on-one opportunities or in space if you were the Miami Dolphins, and we talk all the time about not wanting to run from the pistol formation, but Devon Achane was absolutely phenomenal from the pistol, and it was so many variations of the run, and I felt like the Buffalo Bills never got settled on what they were seeing.
You know, it was crazy, too, watching that. Miami would come out with 6 offensive linemen. Buffalo still stayed in nickel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like that long run, that's
They
the
were
safety
nickel the whole time.
The
Man.
whole game.
Yeah.
But I
Linemen?
also think it's one thing when you have Tyron Johnson on the field.
Sure.
It's a different thing when you're trying to keep Cam Lewis on the field instead of adding a backer.
I mean, listen, you gave the credit to the Dolphins. I don't know what's going to happen with Mike McDaniel, but really credit to the team for playing hard.
Big time. That's a
Mike
big time
McDaniel,
win.
by the way, if you see him rolling around, trolling some Bills fans at a local bar where they were having the game, I mean, it's just great. All right, let's get Adam Schefter back in here for some more news. And unfortunately, Adam, things got worse for the Bills. What is the latest on Dalton Kincaid?
Laura, Dalton Kincaid, the tight end, walked off the field yesterday grabbing his right hamstring, hobbling along. Hamstring injuries usually result in multi-week absences. That is expected to be the case here for Dalton Kincaid. You could see him pull up lane there. You could see him grab the hamstring, hobble along. He went off the field. He did not come back to the game, and now it looks like it'll be Dawson Knox in the next couple of weeks to come. The big injury news today involved the Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow, who had his return to practice window open and is hoping to play later this month, potentially Thanksgiving night against the Baltimore Ravens. That would give him the next couple of weeks to try to get ready. He still needs to see how he feels physically, how he's able to avoid the rush or not avoid the rush, the soreness factor after he does practice. But Joe Burrow is intent upon coming back later this month, early December, to try to see if he can help save the Bengals season.
It's going to be really interesting to see if he comes back and what that Bengals team looks like with him back out there. Obviously, some sort of improvement. Speaking of Burrow, he just spoke to the media moments ago. We bring that to you now.
Yeah, we'll see how the next couple weeks go, see how it feels, and we'll make a decision. You know, there's, like I said, a lot of variables that are going to go into this, and the number one is how it's feeling and my health. So we'll just take it day by day, like we have been. You know, we're still pretty early post-surgery for this injury, so we have a couple weeks of practice to figure that out and see where it goes.
It just makes me think, I mean, what a bummer that we haven't been able to see Joe Burrow for the majority of the season. Mina, does it make sense for him to try to come back with the situation the Bengals are in?
I mean, I'm a little bit torn on this. My head says no, this is not a playoff team. This is not even close to a playoff defense. Is it worth it? But sometimes with the player, if you do feel you're capable of playing, you want to be out there, you want to finish the season strong, you want to do it for your teammates, and I can't argue with that. So.
Listen, unless Joe Burrow can play free safety, it don't matter if he comes back or not. This is about the individual player. This is about Joe Burrow understanding he's one of the best in the game, and he doesn't have time to waste. These years don't just multiply upon themselves. You have to have your opportunity to go out and produce at a high level. He's watching what Joe Flacco has the ability to do with Jamar Chase and also with T. Higgins, and he wants to be a part of it. He wants to fight with his team. This dude's the ultimate leader, and if he can get back out there, he's going to want to do that.
Okay, more on that throughout the show. Also, the big news today, the Giants have fired Brian Dable. We'll be on that for the next couple of hours, and we're with you until 5 p.m. Glad you're with us today on NFL Live from Lambeau. We're just getting started. Hey, after the Packers tried to get the tush-push ban